Hello guys, today we're going to learn about the question tags. These are short questions that we make at the end of a sentence, but when we want to someone else agree with us, or when we are not sure about it. These are short questions that we add in positive or negative sentences, and we form these question tags using the auxiliary or the modal verb of the statement. Remember that this is according the tense. For example, if we are talking in present simple, the auxiliary verb for the present simple is the verb do. So if we're talking in present simple, we use do even when this do is not in the sentence, and also a pronoun, like this example: you play tennis, don't you? In this case, I want to make sure that this person plays tennis, so it's not a long question because this is an statement. Remember that a statement is an affirmative sentence. You play tennis. But as I am not very sure about this person play tennis, I make the question tag at the end. This sentence is in present simple. As I told you, I am using the auxiliary to. But as this sentence is in affirmative form, I make the question tag in negative. Don't you? But if it were backwards, if my sentence were negative, I would write my question tag in affirmative form. For example, if I say, you don't play tennis, do you? And it happens the same with all the tenses. Okay, so we use a question tag when we think or know that something is true and expect the listener to agree with us. We can also use them when we want to check if something is true. The Lakers won the game, didn't they? The Lakers won the game. This sentence is in past simple. What's the auxiliary for the past simple? Did. As this sentence is in present, in affirmative, we write the question tag in negative. Didn't and they. Why are we using they? The Lakers is they. Okay, so we are changing the subject, if it's a name or if it's a thing, by the subject pronoun. Okay. We are not going to write the object as this is written in the statement. Okay, so we use a negative question tag after a positive statement and a positive question tag after a negative statement. It's pretty easy. Here are more examples about what I said before. Shane does boxing, doesn't he? Shane doesn't do boxing, does he? As this sentence is in affirmative, we ask in negative. This sentence is in negative, we ask in affirmative. But we have some question tags that are irregular. For example, with I am, we are always going to use aren't I, and if it is negative with I am not, I'm going to use are I. In the case of let's, when we have let's, we always are going to use shall we. And in the case of the imperative, we are going to use will you. Remember that an imperative is a command, are these sentences that don't use a subject at the beginning of the sentence. Like, for example, if I tell you, open the door, please, at the end I will say you, will you open the door, please, will you? Okay, this is pretty easy. So question tags are short questions that we use at the end of a statement using the auxiliary verb or a modal verb according the tense we are using and also the pronoun. And remember, if we are using a statement in affirmative, we ask it in negative, and if we are using a statement in negative, we ask in affirmative. So let's continue. Then we have the indirect questions. These indirect questions, I won't read you all the things that are here because it's simpler than that. An indirect question is a form of make-up questions without sounding rude, without sounding too direct. These indirect questions are some statements that we use to sound more polite. For example, if not, it's not the same to say, "What time is it?" But if I tell you, "Could you tell me what time is it?" Which of these two sentences do you think sounds better? What time is it? Could you tell me what time is it? Of course, it sounds better. Could you tell me what time is it? Because it's more polite. So these are the indirect questions. Are some phrases that we use before a question to sound more polite. These indirect questions might be, "Do you know?" "Can," "Could you tell me?" Remember that "can" is a little more informal and "could" is more formal. "I wonder." "Have you any idea?" "I would like to know." "Would you mind telling me?" And we also change the word order in the indirect questions as if we were writing in statements and not in questions. For example, here we have two. It says, "Do you know where the sport club is?" "Do you know" is my phrase using an indirect questions. And then we have where the sport club is. Remember that when we make a question, we usually would do it like, "Where is the sport club?" But as this is an indirect question, we are using my phrase, "Do you know where?" But this is my question word, subject and verb. This is the grammar structure of an affirmative sentence. So remember that when we are using a phrase that talks about an indirect question, we write it as if we're writing a statement, not a question. Then says, when the direct question begins with a question word, what, where, how, when, why, who, and so on, we use it in our indirect question, like, "How do you play hockey?" "Could you tell me how hockey is played?" But when we have a question word, for example, do, did, have, and so on, we change it for if or whether. "Is the match over?" "Do you know if or whether the match is over?" So remember that indirect questions are short phrases that we use before a question to sound more polite, to don't be rude, and also when we are using these phrases, we write our questions into a form of a statement, even if we are writing the question mark at the end of the sentence. Okay, that's all. Hope you liked the video, guys. Hear ya next time.